is impossible. That is absolutely impossible what he just did. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the Destination Fantasy Podcast. Once again, last week we saw the Super Bowl. We're going to get right into that in a second. But before we do, always introduce my co-host, my brother from another mother, Mr. Deshaun Reed. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, bro. How about yourself?
Hey, no complaints. Well, a little bit of complaint about that game, but all right. So speaking of which, so I must admit, man, I did not see this game going the way it went. 31-9, Bucks dominated this game basically from start to finish. My opinion, Tom Brady looked surgical. The Bucks defense came to play. It was pretty nostalgic seeing Brady and Gronk cooking up a couple times in the end zone. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones was looking spectacular out there as far as the running game. Other side of the ball, it just looked like, Patrick Mahomes was playing by himself. That's what it felt like. But, what's your quick thoughts before we dive deeper into it?
So, my quick thoughts is it wasn't the Super Bowl that we all predicted it to be, Jamar. We wanted like a light show, we wanted to see some running and gunning out there. We definitely saw some running. It was definitely Patrick Mahomes. But, it wasn't exciting. I think I can speak for all of us when I say it wasn't as exciting for non-Bucks fans as it was for Bucks fans or just overall fans of the football game. And to be completely honest, it definitely turned out to be a game in which I had no idea that. I mean, Jamar, we could even go back to every game that the Chiefs played in this season. Has there been a game that they did not score a touchdown this season?
No.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that, and for them to go to Tampa to kick 3 field goals, come on, man, with that offense, it's just absolutely unacceptable. Patrick Mahomes was, it was basically looking like a track meet out there. So with that being said, you gotta tip your hat to Todd Bowles and to that Bucks front seven. Shaq Barrett and Ndamukong Suh, Jason Pierre-Paul, all those boys were extremely disruptive. And man, they had Patrick Mahomes. He even threw that one pass, his body was parallel to the ground. It was an amazing attempt, but and the thing about that is, Jamar, it was their lowest blitz rate of the season. So it was kind of more so a soft zone blitz. They had a crazy scheme to go in there and stop Patrick Mahomes, and it flat out worked for Todd Bowles.
You know what's crazy? Speaking of that scheme, that is very similar to what the New York Giants used to do to Tom Brady and the Patriots. They basically used their front four to create pressure and dropped everybody else back. And the front four of the Buccaneers definitely did just that. They took advantage of 2 offensive linemen that was out for Kansas City. And another crazy stat, which I think I shared with you, Patrick Mahomes ran for 497 yards in that Super Bowl. 497 yards between when he dropped back and scrambled around that whole game. And basically, in my opinion, he played lights out for what the circumstances were. He put the ball on the money. I mean, the first quarter had Tyreek Hill, ball hitting, had the ball not hit his face mask and actually caught the ball. That would have been 7-0, probably would have changed the whole dynamic of the game. That 3rd and long that Kelsey dropped, which was very uncharacteristic, probably would have kept the drive alive and would have scored some points on that one. And then not to mention where the one that you said, buddy, Mahomes was basically parallel to the ground, threw it on a dime, went through his hands in the pick. It was what else can you do? Can you catch the ball too? I mean, he was already scrambling more than what he normally, does. And picked up a few first downs with his legs, but it's like you want him to catch, you want him to coach, you want him to kick, you want him to block. It's like that's what it felt like. So he did his thing, but no, this game was definitely, in my opinion, more about the Buccaneers and what they did well. And Todd Bowles, former head coach in this league, got it done on defense, and Bruce Arians, his diverse, dynamic staff got it done.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, man, that tip their hats off, like you said, to them. They got the job done. So
I mean, you have to, bro. And like, I just wanted to talk about Brady and Gronk for a while, man, and like the way how they just automatically reinserted their dominance, just like that. Brady and Gronk. Wow, what's good with you, Wayne?
And of course we have one Buccaneers fan who makes his his weekly appearance, rather, Dwayne. Appreciate him, my brother, and look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah, you know what, bro? Like goodness, to think 7 rings, Jamar, in the National Football League. That is amazing. Like, you know what? Brady played very, very well. And like, I don't think he was stellar, and I don't think he outplayed that defense, but Brady went out there and executed. And he executed to a T. Rob Gronkowski just emerged like they had this like dynamic diabolical plan to like, look, man, we gonna save you all the way into like the Super Bowl. We just gonna unleash you. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It just looked like old times out there. And it was, for me to watch that, is just, an image as a Steelers fan that I saw over and over and over and over again. Yeah, he is a Patriots fan. He just still for Tom Brady. But I think the biggest takeaway for me, Jamar, was actually after the Super Bowl. So we got a chance to see Tom Brady on a yacht throwing the Lombardi Trophy from a yacht to a boat between him and Gronk. I think that shows a different side of Tom Brady that I actually like, man. Like, the guy went out there, he had fun. He's 40-something years of age, and he was out there like partying basically like a rock star, like basically like how Gronk does. And like, he was so drunk that he had to get someone to help him off. It was fantastic stuff. I mean, you win 7 Super Bowls. I mean, what else more can you ask for the guy? So
no, seriously, like I was looking at that, I'm like, man, like, how can anybody hate, man?
You can't.
You can't do it, man. I enjoyed watching like all the Instagram feeds and the videos I saw from Mike Evans to Tom Brady doing his thing, LaShawn McCoy, JP, man, they deserved it, man. The Tampa Bay mayor was a little upset with them not wearing any mask or anything, but
I bet.
Yeah. But yeah, no, kudos to them. So yeah, Brady wins 7. I know we discussed a couple of questions last week. So
yep.
Okay. So what does this do for you, just in your eyes?
To be completely honest, it does nothing for me. We all knew once this Bucks team was, once they were basically joined together like the Avengers, pretty much, with every, top wide receiver, and like they got good tight ends and they have good backs, that they were never out of a football game. It just took them a little bit longer to like mesh, Jamar. Like, they started off slow, then they started picking up the pace and like the steam at the right time. So Kansas City, they just have to go back and do some things differently. Kansas City will still be there. Don't count them out. They went to 2 back-to-back Super Bowls, which is very, very tough to do. Tip your hat to Kansas City, but you got to double tip your lid to the Buccaneers. And I'm gonna say this, Antonio Brown, so happy for you, bro. Longtime Steelers fan, I am, and you finally got one of these, man. So like, I'm definitely excited to see that. Already cemented inside the Hall of Fame. He got a ring to go along with the resume. Next stop after he's done, he's on his way to Canton. So
true. So next week's show, we'll be talking about moves, free agency moves and stuff like that. But there are quite a few players on the Buccaneers team that there are, up for free agency, like Shaq Barrett. I mean, he won his money. He was definitely a big,
Huge.
huge for that team. Chris Godwin's unrestricted free agent. I think Gronk contract up, if I'm not mistaken. Antonio Brown too. I know Mike Evans came out and stated he'll, give up some of his money, for them to re-sign some guys. So, I mean, I know it's tough bringing a band back together, especially after winning. But I guess what's your thoughts of? Do you see? Let's keep it fantasy perspective here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So mainly we're looking at Godwin, Antonio Brown, Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think all of them coming back? And if not, I guess what does that do for other people's fantasy value?
I'm going to say AB is going to be the odd man out here. Brady recruited him to 9 times out of 10. He say, "Look, you want to get this ring? Come on down to Tampa, man. Stop, quit playing around." So I think that's basically his parting gift. Like, you got a Super Bowl to go with your just ridiculous resume. So I think he's going to be the odd man out. I think we won't see Antonio Brown in a Buccaneers jersey next year. If they are smart, they'll do everything that they have to do to keep Shaq Barrett. And again, just the reality of it, Jamar, they're not going to be able to keep all of these guys because all of these guys played at such a high level that they are well deserving of the money in which they are asking. I think they'll re-sign Godwin, restructure Mike Evans' contract. And as far as Grunt goes, I honestly think that's up to Tom Brady. And I think Tom Brady will do whatever he got to do to pull some strings to bring Gronk back. He always felt like that was his security blanket. So going forward, in my opinion, I believe Antonio Brown will be the odd man out. The rest of the core pretty much stays intact, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Shaq said he's trying to break the bank. He won't be there next year.
Well deserved. He played lights out. So go get your money, Shaq.
Yeah, he deserves it for sure. So, all right. So we're going to slightly switch gears to other news around the league. One of the biggest stories, J.J. Watt got released by the Houston Texans. I've been on records calling them a trash organization, and they are. I won't get into my whole rant on that, but so yeah, J.J. Watt is released. There are, a few teams that make sense. We got the Green Bay Packers because that's where he's from. We got the Baltimore Ravens. They need a pass rusher. Tennessee Titans. That's another one. There's a Kansas City. That's a good one. Wait. There's you know what? That might be the most logical choice. How can I forget that?
Look, Jamar, like it'll be all but right to bring another Watt into the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Again, it's wishful thinking. It's like you will take like a pretty good, huge cap hit if you are to sign a player of JJ Watt's caliber. But I think, with Ben's contract, coming up, that has to be completely restructured for them to be able to move some pieces around and like to sign some other guys. But I think that'll be too much right. And I mean, the second after TJ Watt tweeted that, he wants to recruit his brother. So they'll have three Watts basically if that was, a dream come true for us. So,
man, I mean, it fulfills a need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you said, his brother is there.
Both brothers.
Yeah, you're right. Both of them.
Yep.
Sorry. And and basically what it comes down to, like, your team has basically two needs or two things that need to be addressed. One is the running game, which that's about as obvious as it could be. A blind man can see that one. And then I guess what to do about the quarterback situation. I heard this morning that Big Ben and the owners are going to meet, I think, this week coming up.
Yes.
Discuss the future and go from there. And so, yeah, that is a pretty strong destination possibility there. I mean, the Bucks is an actual realistic option as well, especially since the Bears going to be gone and, a lot of players going to be up. Now, this one here, I don't know, man. I don't know about the Patriots.
Oh no, JJ Watt already said that he would not go to a team in a rebuilding phase. So I think the Patriots have rebuild written all over it. So I doubt we'll see him in America's colors. So
Fair enough. Somehow, some way, my team is linked, and I think it's because of the Portillos. So I doubt he comes here, but yeah, it'd be curious to see what will happen. They say he'll make his decision this week. So if I was to put money down, I would say Pittsburgh, but we'll see. And also some other news regarding your team. So, man, go ahead and speak on this, man. I know it's near and dear to your heart.
it's very, very near and dear to my heart. Like what a resume he had within like the past 11 seasons, all as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I'm just primarily talking about Marquise here. What a career. I He went out and said, Jamar, that he was going to retire whenever Big Ben retired. So this one kind of scared me because I thought Ben was done as well, but Ben already said that he was, ready to come back for at least 1 year. So hopefully that'll happen. But just the overall impact that Pouncey had since he's been under center, Pro Bowl player. He has been a leader in that locker room, a focal point year in and year out.
Yep.
And like it's just sad to see, to be completely honest. It is going to be very, very weird for me to see anyone else under center. His leadership, the way he carried himself as a class act in that organization, the way that he stepped up and made his voice known, it'll be missed, man. Big time.
Definitely. When him and his brother played, they was definitely had a major impact on the game. So yeah, that's gonna be some big shoes to fill on that one for you.
No kidding.
So best of luck to the both of them. Another person, LaShawn Shady McCoy. Now, hey, if you played fantasy football about 10 years ago, you know how serious of a player he was for your fantasy team. Like him in his prime with the Philadelphia Eagles, back when Michael Vick was your quarterback, when you had Deshaun Jackson to your left, Jeremy Maclin to your right, and LaShawn McCoy in the backfield. That team was all about speed. That team was dynamic, coached by Andy Reid. That whole offense was explosive, and number 25 was definitely the catalyst behind that, in my opinion. So he retires. He is a back-to-back champion. Yeah, so he won one with the Bucks this year, one with the Chiefs last year. Didn't play a single snap in either game, but but that does not take away from the career that he had. 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. He was part of the 2010s All-Decade team. That's how good of a running back he was. He had some decent years in Buffalo before the latter part of his career, moving around, and he has exactly 15,000 yards from scrimmage. Like what is your take on his career? Like what are your thoughts about his career, man?
I'm gonna say this, and like just keeping it fantasy thing. Like he was great. He was a top 5 back coming off the board for multiple years. Like the things that he done, trust me, he definitely earned that nickname Shady. Like he was a very, very shifty guy, dual threat, in which we love to see. And like, the dual threat running backs are among the first taken off the board. You got your exceptions like Derrick Henry, guys like that. But the things that he has done over his career should not go, unnoticed. And I think he did the right thing here by his career being as productive as it was. Like you mentioned, he didn't play a snap in the Super Bowl last year, didn't play a snap in the Super Bowl this year. And you don't want to add those extra blemishes to like your, your already, good record that he had over his time in like the National Football League. So I think he knew when it was time to call it quits. I think this ring was definitely just like the icing on the cake for him. He got a chance to look back at his crazy career, and Shady McCoy, you will be missed, especially from a productive fantasy perspective.
Absolutely. And shoot, funny thing, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, with him, he was just phenomenal. Like you said, top five, always coming off the board early.
Yep.
Oh, I remember what to say. So, he reminds me. Well, the player that reminds me of him now is, in my opinion, is Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
Because I felt like he had that explosiveness. He was definitely a dual threat. He was basically Alvin Kamara without splitting carries with anybody. He was a workhorse Alvin Kamara back then in his prime. That's how I look at him.
That's fair.
From a fantasy perspective. So Shady was definitely that guy. You know what? Good morning, Mr. Brandon Price.
My brother. What's good with you?
If you all don't know, that's my co-host on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We do it every Saturday morning. And yeah, Brandon always has some great insight, man. Good morning, sir. But yeah, we just talking about Shady McCoy, his retirement. Definitely a fantasy superstar in his prime. I know Keelan is a big fan of his as well. So
big time.
So yeah. All right, so we're gonna get into this. We're gonna spend a little bit of time here because this is gonna be a crazy off season. So as you know, we have a group chat, and me and one other guy, shout out to Mike Myers. So a few weeks ago, me and him was talking about, Carson Wentz in a sense and what the Eagles should do and whatnot. And basically his thing was, well, they should trade Jalen Hurts because nobody's going to take Carson Wentz because of his contract, $100 million contract. And he said, well, when is the last time you seen a quarterback with a $100 million contract get traded? I said, well, it hasn't happened, but if a team wants to move, it will happen. And so far, I know we talked about this last week. Jared Goff got traded for Matthew Stafford and let's see, 2 first, number 1 overall picks, $100 million contract. So this is just an example how crazy this offseason is about to be. And so even Russell Wilson made some comments, basically in a nutshell saying, I'm tired of being hit. I want to be involved in personnel decisions. And basically, I kind of want to, definitely have a say so in my future, because otherwise, if something doesn't change, I'm gonna be out of here. That's basically what I took from it. And so, with that being said, it's just, all these quarterbacks that become available. You got Deshaun Watson who wants out. If Russell Wilson, is in the fold, that just adds a whole another dynamic. You hear teams linked to Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota. Sam Darnold's dangling out there. Of course, Carson Wentz, which we mentioned. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. It's crazy. And even Adam Schefter sees at least 18 quarterback changes this offseason. 18. We saw 2 already.
That's crazy.
18. So, with these quarterback moves, just from fantasy perspective, it's going to change the whole dynamic of how the rest of the players is going to be, how the particular quarterback is going to be, because between the new weapons they're working with, the new coaching scheme, the new city, the new everything, all the intangibles, they all play a factor. And so you're going to see rankings. You're going to see preseason rankings just all over the place. It's going to be exciting. It feels like the quote unquote March Madness of the NFL. That's what it feels like to me. And so it's like, what are your thoughts, man? Because this is gonna be crazy.
Man, is you're right, man, dude. Like, you legit took basically all the words right out of my mouth. It's just gonna be crazy to see. Wow, 18. Like, think about that. Like 18 possible quarterback changes. Like, let's just stick with like the Russ thing. In my opinion, I believe that Russell Wilson will stay there. Whenever you think about the Seattle Seahawks, the first name that pops into your mind is Russell Wilson. It just seems like he is like a homer. He reminds me of like an Aaron Rodgers, who probably going to spend his whole time with one team, Ben Roethlisberger, guys of that nature. I think Russ is going to be there. I think they will get that offensive line situation addressed. But let's just say that they didn't. Like, what would that do to the likes of names like, and again, we're just speaking hypothetically here, Jamar. What would that do for the DK Metcalfs, the Chris Carsons, the Tyler Lockett's, guys like that? So basically, from a fantasy perspective, we would like to wait and take the wait and see approach, man, to wait and see like how these dominoes are going to fall. And it's going to be amazing to see a lot of these changes going forward. Like, it definitely got me excited. The golf the golf and Stafford one was definitely, a big domino that fell. And I think the rest are going to start to topple over the next couple of months here. And it's just going to be outright crazy to see a lot of scenarios. Garoppolo, Deshaun Watson, like guys like that. And, guys like Watson is just going to come in and make a team better. So we're going to see, not only are we going to see NFL rankings, like, just scramble a little bit from top to bottom, we're also going to see stocks raising in fantasy football. We're going to see a lot of stocks dropping in fantasy football, depending upon where these quarterbacks land. So this is definitely a huge headline here, Jamar.
It definitely is. And, we didn't even mention the likes of like Dak Prescott, who has yet to be signed.
Whew.
And I guess they had a promo video that the Cowboys put out and didn't even put Dak Prescott in there. And so,
that's low. That's low.
Yeah, so it's like, does that let you know like where they are as far as where they stand? So who knows? Didn't even mention a guy like Jameis Winston, who, I'm starting to come around. And Brandon, he mentioned been talking about, just for example, Jameis Winston, maybe possibility for the Bears. That my team needs a quarterback. And so at first I'm like, no, because he's deemed Mr. 30 for 30. But but I'm starting to think, well, he was only Mr. 30 for 30 because I guess of the system he was in, which came with a lot of passing and deep throws and shots like that. Maybe if Jameis Winston get into a situation like Baker Mayfield, where you got a running game to rely on and open up the play action and limit your pass attention, maybe he might be an effective quarterback and an effective fantasy quarterback at that point. Maybe. So, just it's a lot, man. It is a lot. Like, matter of fact, we're gonna go just real quick. This is off the top of my head, division by division. So starting the AFC East. So the Patriots are gonna need a quarterback.
Yep.
The Jets, they'll possibly move their quarterback. It's possible. Yep. The Bills will stay pat, and I would imagine unless a blockbuster offer like Deshaun Watson, Miami will stay where they are. Let's go to the AFC North. I mean, your team may or may not need a quarterback. It's inevitable. The Ravens, they don't. I would imagine the Browns and the Bengals will stay pat, right?
Yep, I think so.
All right, AFC South, Colts need a quarterback.
Yep.
Tennessee, I'm pretty sure they'll stick with Tannehill.
Tannehill, I think so.
Houston, we already know how that situation is going. Jacksonville, we know they're getting Trevor Lawrence. So then you got the AFC West, Kansas City, we already know. Chargers, they're staying pat. Broncos need a quarterback.
Like a dead man needs a coffin.
And the Raiders, I would imagine at least one of those two quarterbacks are gone, if not both. So then we go to the NFC East. Giants, I don't know. I would imagine if I was to, choose a side, they would stay with Daniel Jones. But, I would say they'd probably be like in a Tua situation.
It's a possibility. It's a realistic possibility, though.
It is. We just talked on, Dak Prescott. Like, there's no certain future there. The football team, I'm pretty sure they're looking for a quarterback. And then Eagles, they got Jalen Hurts, so I'm pretty sure they're
I
gonna
think
take
they're
Wentz.
okay. Yeah.
So then you got the NFC North. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, more than likely he stays, but it's like
He'll stay. I don't think they'll do anything. They already made the decision to draft the quarterback, and that just fueled his fire. So he's good. He's good.
I mean, he is, but I'm saying I feel like I give him a 98% chance of staying. I leave that 2% because there's no telling. Like you never know, but more than likely, I'm with you. He'll probably stay. I mean, Detroit already made a move. Kirk Cousins. I mean, that's who I call Mr. Empty Calories right there. He put up meaningless stats, man. Fantasy wise, I mean, he has his moments where he's a star-studded guy. Then there's other times it's like you just mad at him. And of course, my team needs a quarterback. NFC South. I mean, Falcons. There's definitely Matt Ryan might be on the move. What's the actual situation going to be in New Orleans? We don't know. Tampa, I'm pretty sure Brady's running it back one more time. And as we all know, Carolina needs a quarterback.
Yep.
And then we go to the NFC West. Jimmy G.
He's not the guy.
He's not it. Russell Wilson. I mean, we just talked about it. He's probably in that Aaron Rodgers category. I'm pretty sure he'll stay, but you never know. I mean, the Rams made a move, and Arizona's gonna keep Kyler Murray. So yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty out there.
And that does everything to fantasy football. Like I mentioned, we just use the scenario of just Russell Wilson. Even if that were to happen, I think like a couple of players would just have to drop off. And these are big time guys. Like DK Metcalf is huge. Tyler Lockett is huge. Chris Carson has been huge. So guys like that, it really depends on who's under center. So this QB extravaganza will be something to watch unfold.
Absolutely. So yeah. So definitely we keeping our antennas up for the next few weeks here.
Facts.
Exactly what's gonna happen with that one. All right. So we ain't got too much left to cover today, but just a couple of fun things here. So yeah, the ones that's watching, it says giveaway, and the ones that's listening, yeah, there's a giveaway. So just in the near future, we're gonna have a giveaway. When, what, where, who, what, when, where, and why. We'll get into that later on. Just stay tuned. There will be some treats out there in store. We'll let you know what's going on with that. And then also, it's never too early to talk about fantasy football.
We're recruiting.
If you want to join us in the fantasy football league, stay tuned for that. I know for a fact after a month or two after the NFL season, my boy Deshaun here, he started looking like Tyrone Baker. He got some mock drafts out there.
Man, I mock early, bro, and it's just something that I like to do just to keep the fun going. Once football season comes to an end, it's this big hole that just doesn't seem to get filled, Jamar, because real football and fantasy football takes up a big chunk of my time. It's just fun stuff. It gives you a chance to bond with your guys, give you a chance to bond with your coworkers, gives you a little bit of chance to trash talk back and forth. It's just a great times. Now, granted, with COVID this year, it's been a very, very tough season. But I think the NFL done a very good job of containing it the best way that they could to be able to give guys like us a chance to participate in things like this. So it's been a wild ride, but man, it's crazy to think that it has come to an end.
Yeah, man, it has already. I feel like as soon as it started, as quickly as it ends. That's what it feels like.
So you're right about that, man. Next month, maybe toward the end of March, I will be mocking.
A lot of people didn't know my drafts was even open that early. He finds them.
Yep.
No, but it's all fun though. I mean, I'm with you, man. I love mock drafting, especially since we can't. It'd be foolish to do an actual real draft at that point.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, be on the lookout for that as well. For more details. So yeah, man, that's That's pretty much it. Unless you got something else that we forgot to mention here.
Nah, man. It is Valentine's Day, and I want to give a big shout out to my wife. Happy Valentine's Day. To my daughter, Happy Valentine's Day, and to my mom, Happy Valentine's Day.
Man, that is love, man. For people who don't know, we are family men. We are married. We are great fathers, great husbands, and yeah. My wife is asleep. She doesn't know. I'm about to go surprise her after this. So all right. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll probably be back next week.
Yep.
All right. So I am tripping. Where can they find us, man?
Man, they can find us pretty much everywhere, man. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're even on Pandora. So pretty much everywhere where you are able to find a podcast, we are there. So and again. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, we on Amazon.
Let's go.
Music as well.
Okay, so that's another one added to the list. So, and again, Jamar and I really appreciate all the support we've been getting, and it's been great. Even from like the last segment we had, which was one of our better segments, we saw like some things increase. We saw that you guys have been tuning in to it, so it's all love and it's much appreciated. But definitely. As far as YouTube goes, definitely check out the YouTube page. Thumbs up if you like the content, thumbs down, hopefully not, but we'll understand. It definitely will help us to grow the channel.
Absolutely. Like, we appreciate everyone, the ones that we know, the ones that we met live on the show. Like, please subscribe. We want to get our followers up. We want to, increase our fan base here. We appreciate all the love and support. We just want to continue to grow, continue to, provide a great product and more importantly, a fun time. We are having fun doing this.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know any, too many people that get up early on a Sunday to do this, but no, we do. We enjoy it. This is something that, that's near and dear to our heart. We've been doing this for almost 15 years at this point. So we appreciate you all. So yeah, tune in next week. We have more info about giveaways and joining the Destination Fantasy Football League next season. But yeah, until then, my brother Deshaun, I'm Jamar. Peace out.
Peace.